A UK pensioner retiring to live in France post-Brexit can get free healthcare. True or false?
Okay, so that is actually true. If you are a UK state pensioner, you can continue to request a form which is called an S1 form. Now that's just a kind of fancy term for a piece of paper which allows the UK to fund your healthcare in France. So this form, the S1 form, continues under the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, which was signed just before Christmas. So this means that eligible pensioners and their family members will continue to have their healthcare costs covered by the UK should they move to the EU. This particular S1 form, you can register it with one of the local French state health reimbursement offices. There are 140 of them throughout France. And these are called Caisse Primaire d'Assurance Maladie. You go to this particular office, you take your S1 and some other documents, and you can register it with them, and they will then allow you to access French state healthcare and it be funded by the UK. So this will actually entitle you to the same coverage as a French state pensioner. So some really important information. French state healthcare actually does not function like the NHS. And so sometimes the state will only cover a certain portion of your healthcare, on average 70%. So the S1 form will cover you for the portion that the state would cover, so that on average 70% depending on the treatment and depending on the medical practitioner. For the remaining percentage, this would have to be paid either by yourself or by something which we call top-up insurance, or a mutuelle in French. These are normally inexpensive and they will cover you for that remainder, and it gives you peace of mind. But just to explain also that the French system is quite flexible. If, for example, you have a chronic illness, then quite often this reimbursement rate goes from 70% on average up to 100%. But this you would have to see with your general practitioner in France at the time and run this past your Caisse Primaire d'Assurance Maladie to make sure that this corresponds to their list of chronic illnesses to be covered at 100%. Remember, if you are moving, I just reiterating it one more time, if you are moving to France and you are going to reside there, you should not use your EHIC or your GHIC. As an S1 holder in France, as a UK state pensioner in France, you will be entitled for a GHIC to use in other EU member states if you're travelling for short stays and for necessary care, but you will not be able to use this to access French healthcare in France. I hope that's clear.
That is clear, but the fantastic news for British pensioners wanting to relocate to France then is that there is a state provision that matches the same rights as a French citizen.
That's correct.
And just to clarify, when you said the top-up insurance, I think you said it was inexpensive?
It is inexpensive, yes. It's not like full private health insurance, and most French citizens have a mutuelle to cover what we call the co-payment. So that's the bit that's left over after what the state covers.